Welcome to the Dance Studio Empire podcast, a mix of business strategies, simple tips for studio growth and success, with a touch of inspiration, motivation, plus raw and honest conversations to ensure you are building your studio empire. I'm your host, Jen Dalton, studio owner for 30 years, dance business coach, and the author of the book, Teaching Dance Beyond the Steps. My business philosophy is creativity is our superpower, and I believe we all have the means and ability to infiltrate this into our studio. Just sometimes we can get too busy, distracted, or overwhelmed to see that. So that is exactly why I am here to help you. So if you are ready to master the art of creating demand, unravel the dance of numbers in your studio, and run your business to its full potential, then you are in the right place. Okay, let's do this. Sit back and relax, and let's get ready to build your dance studio empire. I was speaking to one of my mastermind members the other week, and she asked me, what was the number one thing that I focused on in my studio to continually be at the top of our game? Now, I thought about it for a second because there are quite a few things that we do, but in the end, it was a no-brainer answer, and it probably is one that you wouldn't expect, because I told her that my biggest focus is on our re-enrollment strategy that we implement each year, because to me, retention and focusing on the students that we already have is just as important, if not more important than always focusing on getting new students through the door. Welcome back, and thank you for joining me for this episode of the Dance Studio Empire podcast. During this episode, I'm going to be talking to you about the fourth and final thing that we need to do to create demand and get your studio empire thriving. So you've attracted the right people, you've given them great reasons to come for a trial, and they've now signed up. So guys, the next thing is you want to keep them as part of your dance family for as many years as possible. And that's retention, right? Yes. Retention, it has so many layers, right? And there could be multiple episodes on retention, which I should probably do for you. But simply, you need to ensure that the experience and the journey for your students is one of your main focuses while running your studio. Now, there's 4 areas of focus when it comes to retention and when we're applying it in our studio. So everything that we're doing falls into one of these categories. The only thing is, it's not just your responsibility to make sure you're implementing these. Your teachers, if you have staff, whether it be in reception, whether it be on the phones, whether it be teachers teaching your classes, they also have to take some responsibility to uphold these things, because it takes the team to maintain high retention rates. If you're just doing it alone, that's not going to be enough. If you're the only person in your business, then you are going to nail it, because if you can implement all this, it won't be long before you need a team, because you'll have so many kids they won't leave. But it just may mean that there needs to be some training, some teacher training, or some staff training, just to make sure that they really understand what this means and the importance of it. And I always come back to, if we don't have students, they don't have a job. So if I can't afford to pay them because we don't have enough students coming through the door, then unfortunately they're going to be out of work. And so I do come back to that, and I tell them things like that. That's why it's important that they are implementing things that we talk about, things, our training, how the classroom expectations, things like that. And it's also really important with retention. So this may be a good topic to bring up at your next teacher training, or if you're doing an online meetings with your teachers, have a chat about this. Okay, let me go into them. There are four areas of focus. The first one is connection, focusing on connection. Then there's focusing on innovation. Then there's focusing on progression. And then number 4 is appreciation. So let's go into the first one, being connection. Brené Brown. I don't know if you've heard of her. If you haven't, just check her out online. She's so inspirational, so motivational. And she just has the most perfect quote about connection that sums up how I believe our families should feel when they come to our studio. And it is: connection is the energy that exists between people when they feel seen, heard, and valued, when they can give and receive without judgment, and when they derive sustenance and strength from the relationship. Oh, I love it. I love it. Let me say it again. It just blows my mind. Connection is the energy that exists between people when they feel seen, heard, and valued, when they can give and receive without judgment, and when they derive sustenance and strength from the relationship. So, with every action, with every decision, and with any strategy that you make, be it for your dancers, be it for your families, or for your business, remember to make connection the foundation of it all. Because connection also aligns with communication and messaging. And when you get that part right, it equals trust. And when your families trust you, if they've been with you for a while and they trust you, it makes your life so much easier. If you need to ask them to change a time of some sort, if you need them to bring something extra, if you need to ask them for another $5 because the costume that you thought was going to be $35 is now $40, because they trust you, they're not going to question it. They know your intentions are always good. It's always in the best interest of them. So they're just going to do it. So that's going to make your life so much easier and take away a lot of stress and time and energy that you don't have. So if you can use connection in different things to make sure that your families are feeling that, so the way you're communicating, the way you're messaging, make sure they know that the trust is there. It's such a beautiful thing. Anyway, you can tell I'm passionate, right? Yeah. Okay, number two. Number two is innovation. Now, I say this all the time. Don't worry what other studios are doing. And I say that, and I completely hear myself saying that, and I know that it's trickier. It's easier said than done, right? Not worrying about what other studios are doing. Just keep trying. I know it does get easier over time. So the longer you do it, the more confident you get in yourself. But I just encourage you to try and not look at other studios as competition. My theory is, it has always been, you've probably heard me say it before, people are always going to have babies. So there are always new little dancers being born every day. So you just really need to focus in on your families. Okay. So this is the retention section, right? So you've had them, you've won them over with your marketing. They've made it through the door. They love your classes. They're still with you. They love you, right? So focus in on them. Focus on creative processes or new ideas that are going to be loved by your families. Now, this is going to help if you live in the area, because you'll know what they're going to love. And, you know, whether it's a working class area, whether it's a low socioeconomic area, whether it's a rich area, you know, there are things that are going to be more helpful for your families depending where you live. So it's up to you to really get in and ask the questions. Listen to conversations that are being had in the waiting room. Listen to what the kids are saying in the classroom. These are really good ways to get an insight into what will be helpful. And it might even just be a passing comment from a parent, you know, just saying, oh, I'd really appreciate, you know, if the classes could be stagnated so that there wasn't like the big crossover or something like that. And you could be like, okay, that's something I hadn't thought about. So maybe that's something I could add to a timetable, because if one parent's feeling that way, possibly another parent is. So little things like that will help. Focus also on how you can add variety and excitement, you know, so changing things up. Now, I did speak earlier about if it's not broke, don't fix it. In another episode, not in this episode, I was talking about our free trial lessons, how we've been doing them forever. They work for us, and so I'm not changing it. But I do see the value in people who do a paid trial lesson. So I do get that as well. However, in saying that, I'm not changing up our free trial at the moment, but I think it's really important to keep things fresh in the studio, whether it be challenges like doing new challenges, social events, or performance opportunities. The problem these days is people get bored quickly. So, love it or not, we just have to keep coming up with new ideas and innovating at a faster pace. And I know even saying that's making me exhausted. I know, and it's harder now. Like there used to be a time when it was easier to come up with new ideas, easier to sort of keep innovating, but things are just moving faster now. So anyway, we just need to be keeping up with the times. Remember what I say? Creativity is our superpower. Creativity is our superpower. So just keep going back to that. We'll be fine. Okay, moving on. Number 3 is progression. I would really encourage you to have some form of internal progression structure within your studio. This gives your students then something to work towards, like that feeling of moving into the next level or advancing to the next level. It's another thing for them to be excited about or to work towards, because let's be honest, the parents also love that too. The parents love a report. They love hearing that their kids have improved or doing better. They can actually see the goal, that you've set for their child. They can see, oh yeah, they have, they're now able to do this. Excellent. They're now moving into the next level. I think it's really good. As I said, just for the child for sure, but also for the parent. And you can have a graduation ceremony or a presentation day, invite younger levels to sit in and watch the next level, like just before they're due to re-enroll or to transition, right? It's just so inspiring for them to see it, and it gives them that renewed sense of excitement and achievement that they're just going to want to stay. So if they're sort of, I say plateauing, and I know that being the teacher and you also, if you're teaching or being the studio owner, our kids don't ever just sit and do the same thing year after year. Like they do obviously, improve, and we challenge them more and more. But we want it to be seen. We want them to be acknowledged for it, because that's just going to help them be part of it. And they're going to see and be proud of themselves and try harder. And it's like, well, I'm working towards getting to the elite team. You know what I mean? So having that structure, that internal progress structure is really valuable. And I mean, this could be as simple as just levels, right? Preschoolers to juniors to intermediates or seniors. So it's like stepping stones. I know of studios that use like gem systems. So rubies, sapphires, diamonds. I've heard of studios using bronze, silver, gold, platinum. For us, we have our Jigsaw Juniors. They're our preschoolers. They then go to Rising Stars, then to Shooting Stars, then they go to Academy Junior, Academy Senior, and then to Elite. And so we have girls now in our Elite troop. We have boys as well, but they haven't been from the beginning. But they were in our Jigsaw Juniors, and they're now in the Elite troop. So, they've stepped through the levels. They've progressed. The parents have seen them, and that's part of the reason that they stay. There's so many options, but it really assists greatly in your retention. Okay, and number 4, finally, is appreciation. I really encourage you to be grateful for your families, like for them coming to you, for entrusting you with their child. I still get up on stage at the end of my concert and I just say that I genuinely am thankful that they do come to us. Like I really am grateful, and I tell them and I show them and I thank them for being supportive and part of our dance family. And it makes a big difference. It makes the sacrifice of their time, the financial sacrifice that they're making, to know that they're not just a number, or they're not just, on the list, on the class list. Like I'm actually grateful for each and every one of them being there. And it pays off. One year at my concert, I have told this story before, but during my speeches, I did a shout out to those parents who just continually recommended us and supported us, especially like publicly on social media. So I don't know about you, but we have like local mums page, and every second day someone's saying, I'm looking for a dance school, I'm looking for a dance school. I personally don't actually get on and respond. I just let our parents do the talking, and they do, and I'm so grateful for that. What I did this particular concert is I called out ones who were just always recommending us, called them onto the stage and presented them with a bottle of wine, because I just wanted to show them and also the rest of the audience how much I just appreciated them and what they do. And then what do you think the repercussions were? Yep, it was like more public support, more recommendations, and really happy families. And honestly, that has to be high on our priority list, making them known how much we appreciate them. All right, so let's quickly recap the 4 areas of focus for retention. First one is connection. Remember just how important building that trust is. Second one is innovation. It's just staying in front, staying fresh. Third one is progression. And then fourth is appreciation. Okay, then. That just about brings us to the end of this episode, and the 4 things that you just need to focus on to keep your studio empire thriving. That was attracting the right people, enticing them to try a class, signing them up, and then retaining them for life. That's it. So if you get that bit, then the sky's the limit for your business. You can probably tell that I'm really passionate about retention, and is something that I will be going into a lot more detail about during our 3-day Enrolment Accelerator challenge. Now, if you want to be in the best position possible as we head into the last part of the year, now is the best time to get started. So listen up, because this is one of the best free challenges that I have ever offered. So as I'm planning for 2024, I just thought you might want to join me and start planning for your studio as well. And so during this challenge, I'm going to be just sharing the exact steps and processes that I do this time every year to ensure maximum growth and demand for a massive following year. And so I'd like to introduce the 3-day Enrolment Accelerator Challenge. And this is just an immersive 3 days where we join live on a call. It's going to be not long, so I think about half an hour for each of these calls. You're going to be given information that you can use. You're going to be given challenges that you can do on the day, ready for the next day. But it really is exclusively designed for dance studio owners who are wanting to maximize growth and demand for an epic 2024. And it's totally free. So the things I'm going to be going into is in-depth insights into my re-enrollment process, and also our new enrollment strategies, techniques to increase enrollments through strategic branding and marketing, which is a real hot topic at the moment, proficiency in crafting a compelling timetable, and just really nurturing the anticipation of returning students that you currently have, but also new students that you are wanting to bring in. I'm going to be talking about conversion tools to streamline the registration and build unwavering trust and connection, and also mastering retention practices that drive growth and for your community to stay loyal to you. So it's starting Monday, September 11th. It'll be the Monday, Tuesday the 12th, and Wednesday the 13th. So this coming Monday. Make sure you click the link in the show notes to register your interest. I'll make sure I get the details to you. If not, just send me a DM through Instagram, which is at _Jen Dalton _, and I can shoot the info to you that way. All right, make sure you tune in for next week's episode as I continue to walk through everything that I did to get my studio empire to where it is today. Until then. And that's a wrap for this week's episode. I'm so grateful to have you listen each week. If you found today's episode valuable, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could take a moment to rate, 5 stars of course, and leave a review on your preferred podcast platform. Your feedback empowers me to keep delivering insightful content. To ensure you never miss an episode, hit that subscribe button and be sure to follow me on Instagram @_Jen Dalton_ and join our private Facebook group, Dance Studio Empire. Until next time, keep dancing, keep thriving, and keep building your dance studio empire.